to just do this while we wait. And they want us to do this while we wait. It's slow. It's okay.
Hello, this is George.
Hey, Bonnie.
And this is Adonai Sanctuary Truth Classroom. June 3rd. And we're going to go over Deuteronomy 33. And we're going to look up a bunch of different verses. So hope you have a piece of paper and pencil so you can write them down, because we don't wait for you to look them up yourself unless you're fast with the finger. All right. You ready to get going?
Yeah.
Okay. Deuteronomy 33:1, a blessing Moses spoke to and over Israel before he died. In one way, this should be called the Hebrew line of notable characters.
Notable characters.
My sweetie's going to read 33:1-3.
This is a blessing that Moses, the man of God, spoke over the people of Israel before his death. Adonai came from Sinai. From Seir he dawned on his people, shone forth from Mount Haran, and with him were myriads of holy ones. At his right hand was a fiery law for them. He truly loves the people. All his holy ones are in his hand, sitting at his feet. They receive your instruction. Sorry, don't worry about it. We're fine. We are A-OK.
It states Adonai came from the Sinai desert. Now, why did Moses say Adonai came from that desert? For his people? My sweetie's going to go to Shemot, or Exodus 3:1-5.
Wasn't that far? Exodus 3:1-5. Now Moses was tending the sheep of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, leading the flock to the far side of the desert. He came to the mountain of God, to Horeb. The angel of Adonai appeared to him in a fire blazing from the middle of a bush. He looked and saw that although the bush was flaming with fire, yet the bush was not being burned up. Moses said, I am going to go over and see, turn the page, this amazing sight and find out why the bush isn't being burned up. When Adonai saw that he had gone over to see, God called to him from the middle of the bush, Moses, Moses. He answered, Here I am. He said, Don't come any closer. Take your sandals off your feet, because the place where you are standing is holy ground.
So that place is in the Sinai desert by Mount Horeb, or Horeb. It states the place where you are standing is holy ground. Take off your sandals. What Adonai stated to Moses was that one spot on Mount Horeb in the Sinai desert is his holy place. Think about it. Adonai must have deserted, did away with, even destroyed that one special place called what everybody talks about nowadays, the garden. And now you must say his holy place is in the Sinai desert on Mount Horeb, in the area around that burning bush. When you think about just that writing, it's so intriguing that Adonai may lead us to find even more truths that have been hidden or discarded by society. There was a line that states Seir, S-E-I-R. We spent a lot of time trying to understand or look up Seir, yet the only thing we came up with was Judges 5, 4 and 5. My sweetie's going to read that. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave. 4 and 5. Adonai, when you went out from Seir, when you marched out from the field of Edom, the earth quaked and the sky shook. Yes, the clouds poured down torrents. The mountains melted in the presence of Adonai at Sinai, before Adonai, the God of Israel.
That states Adonai, when he left Edom and went out to Seir. Hopefully, Adonai has an informational statement in our future studies about Seir. If not, that will be one of those beliefs with the truth, or that the trust in what Adonai wants us to know, not that it's a necessity, just the knowledge of Scripture by Scripture, not by man. The next part in Deuteronomy 33 says Mount Haran. There is a desert of Mount Haran in the Sinai, which is between Egypt and the Promised Land. The word states, what's that word?
Oh, myriads.
I can't pronounce it for some reason.
Myriads.
Of
Lots.
holy ones, which is a definitively large, indefinitively large number. Yet, studying more, we came up with having no fixed limit of holy ones.
Doesn't say.
Those unlimited ones are at the right hand, waiting for Adonai's instructions. Did you read that? Wow.
Yep.
Think about that one
Sitting at his
statement.
feet.
No fixed limit of holy ones is what that word means. Now that in itself is a wow factor to me. My sweetie's going to read 33 verse 4.
The Torah Moses commanded us as an inheritance for the community of Jacob. That's 4.
The English translation of verses 2 and 4 are a prime example of why a person, any person, must study for truth. Not to be led by a brainwashing by a priest, rabbi teacher, pope, or religion. The English says the law of Moses, while the truth states the Torah Moses commanded. Right? At first glance, a person uses the understanding of Moses' law, yet the Moses Torah was and is usually understood by truth as a principle for living with and for Adonai by following Moses' Torah. That right there is a mouthful. With that being the statement, pardon?
Puts a whole different meaning on that.
With that being the statement, it usually debunks that negative connotation of law, doesn't it? It's a principle for living. And the English language, or the translators or transliterators, have changed it to a negative word called law. We wonder why. Read 5, please.
Then a king rose in Jeshurun, when the leaders of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Israel together.
The only finding that Yeshurun stands for is the upright one. Is that verse saying Adonai, the upright one, would rise as their king when the Israelite people are gathered together? Interesting. Now, how about Yaakov or Jacob's sons? My sweetie's going to read 33 verse 6.
Let Reuben live and not die out, even though his numbers grew few.
It states Reuben didn't grow a large number. Now, why did it state he would live and not die? My sweetie's going to go to Bereshit, or Genesis 24, verse 3 and 4. 49, verse 3 and 4. Excuse me. Genesis 49, verse 3 and 4.
Reuben, you are the firstborn, my strength, the firstfruits of my manhood. Though superior in vigor and power, you are unstable as water. So your superiority will end, because you climbed into your father's bed and defiled it. He climbed onto his concubine's couch.
Reuben, the eldest son, yet he had dishonored his father by defiling his father's bed. He had sex with Jacob, his father's concubine. Therefore he lived without the honor of what that went along with being the firstborn. We can't think of any notable descendants that came from his line. And we will name a few that came from the other line. My sweetie's going to read verse 7.
Of Judah he said, Hear, Adonai, the cry of Judah. Bring him in to his people. Let his own hands defend him, but you help him against his enemies.
Judah, in other words, Judah. Help him with his enemies. His descendants will rise to defend. Who are some of his notable descendants that came from his line? How about the men who would be king? David and a person called Yeshua as the king. Now, sweetie's going to read 8.
Of Levi he said, Let your Tummim and Urim be with your pious one, whom you tested at Massa, with whom you struggled at Meribah spring. I'm sure I messed those up, but that's okay.
What an honor Moses states about Levi. My sweetie's going to go to Shemot, or Exodus 28:30. Read that, please.
You are to put the Urim and the Tummim in the breastplate for judging. They will be over Aaron's heart when he goes into the presence of Adonai. Thus Aaron will always have the means of making decisions for the people of Israel over his heart when he is in the presence of Adonai.
They will be, the Urim and the Tummim, will be over Aaron's heart, making decisions for Israel. It says when he is with Adonai. The second part talks about testing and struggles. She's going to go to Shemot, or Exodus 17:4-7.
Moses cries out to Adonai, What am I to do with these people? They're ready to stone me. Adonai answered Moses, Go on ahead of the people and bring with you the leaders of Israel. Take your staff in your hand, the one you used to strike the river, and go. I will stand in front of you there on the rock at Horeb. You are to strike the rock, and water will come out from it, so the people can drink. Moses did this in the sight of the leaders of Israel. This place is named Massa, or testing, and Mirah, however, quarreling because of the quarreling of the people of Israel, and because they tested Adonai by asking, "Is Adonai with us or not?"
The word Mashah means testing. And Meribah means quarreling. That's the testing when the people of Israel ask, "Is Adonai for us or not? Is he even with us?" How could they be asking that? Yet it seems they were what we may call fair weather fans of Adonai. When things are going good on Adonai's side, they had his back then. Yet when a problem may come, they seem to be awful fast to turn from Adonai and his will. That sounds an awful lot like the people of today, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My
all
sweetie,
good when it's good.
My sweetie's going to read 9 now, 33 verse 9.
Of his father and mother he said, "I don't know them." He didn't acknowledge his brothers or children, for he observed your word and he kept your covenant.
What a statement. That with the leading of the brainwashing today, they would stand for Adonai's instructions like that. Mm-hmm. Interesting. How do you guard Adonai's covenant? Levi kept his word. Do you keep his true word? And if you think you do, will Adonai say what is written in Malachi 2:5, please?
My covenant with him was one of life and peace, and I gave him these things. It was also one of fear, and he feared me. He was in awe of my name.
Is Malachi 2:5 about you? Will he say that you were in awe of his name? Isn't that what you just read?
That says.
His name. Will it ever be stated that you kept Adonai's covenant and or Torah? Listen to what Scripture says about the descendants of Levi. Read 10, please.
They will teach Jacob your rulings, Israel your Torah. They will set incense before you and whole burnt offerings on your altar.
Teach all of Israel the Torah. Then they will follow his rules. My sweetie's going to read 11 now.
Adonai bless his possessions, accept the work he does, but crush the enemy's hip and thigh. May those who hate him rise no more.
11, to find out what Adonai does for his Levi's descendants. Blesses what they have, their work for themselves, and Adonai will be accepted. Did you read that what you read? Mm-hmm. The ones who are their enemies will not last and afterwards fade away. With all that favorable writing about the tribes of Levi, who were the notable ones from that line? Who were they? Scripture says Eli, Aaron, Moses, and how about another one? John the Baptist. My sweetie's going to read 12.
Of Benjamin he said, Adonai's beloved lives securely. He protects him day after day. He lives between his shoulders.
In reality, so little about Benjamin they are protected by Adonai. Who are they? By Scripture, Saul came from his line of descendants. Remember, King Saul. We also believe Esther and one other notable one. What was his name? Paul. He was supposed to be from a Benjamite. We now see the line of Joseph, the blessings, the power, the numbers of his descendants. Read 13 through 17, please.
Of Joseph he said, May Adonai bless his land with the best from the sky for the dew, and for what comes from the deep beneath, with the best of what the sun makes grow, with the best of what comes up each month, with the best from the mountains of old, with the best from the eternal hills, with the best from the earth and all that fills it, and the favor of him who lives in the burning bush. May blessings come to the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. His firstborn bull, glory is his. His horns are those of a wild ox. With them he will gore the peoples, all of them to the ends of the earth. These are the myriads of Ephraim and the thousands of Manasseh.
The blessings, the power, the numbers. What can we say? The best of everything. Having no fixed limit of number from Ephraim and from thousands from Manasseh. Who are the notables from Joseph's descendants? There were a few. Samuel, Gideon, and the guy that led him into the promised land, Yehoshua. The next two seem to be as one, Zebulun and Issachar. Read 18 and 19, please.
Of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, as you go forth, and you, Issachar, in your tents. They will summon people to the mountains, and there offer righteous sacrifices. For they will draw from the abundance of the seas and from the hidden treasures of the sand.
It seems that they will be content, yet back in Breshit, or Genesis, 49, 13 through 15. Read that, please.
Zebulun will live at the seashore, with ships anchoring along his coast, and his border is Zidon. Issachar is a strong donkey, lying down in the sheep's shed. Whoop, one more, 15. On seeing how good is settled life and how pleasant the country, he will bend his back to the burden and submit to forced labor.
Zebulun lives by the sea, while Issachar will sleep in sheep's pens. It would seem that those two will be content in their surroundings, well, until Issachar is put in forced labor anyway. Read the first part of 16 or 19 again, please.
They will summon people to the mountain, and there offer righteous sacrifices.
Now go to Isaiah 2 and read 2 and 3.
I can't read those words. The time to come, or the end of times. You know how to say it. No. The mountain of Adonai's house will be established as the most important mountain. It will be regarded more highly than any other hills, and all the Goyim, or Gentiles, you said, will stream there. Many people will go and say, Come, let's go to the mountain of Adonai, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us about his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Tejan will go forth Torah, and the word of Adonai from Jerusalem.
Thanks, Tom. On the last days, Adonai's mountain will be established as the important one, and all, not some, but all non-Jews, in other words, Goyim, as she had trouble reading, or Gentiles, will flock there. We found no notable descendants coming from either one of those lines. Now, my sweetie's going to read 20 and 21.
Back to Deuteronomy, right?
Deuteronomy 33, 20 and 21.
Of Gad he said, Blessed is he who makes Gad so large. He lies there like a lion, tearing arm and scalp. He chose the best for himself. When the princely portion was assigned, when the leaders of the people came, he carried out Adonai's justice and his rulings concerning Israel.
Gad was one of the brothers who didn't go into the promised land, but stayed west of it because the pasture land was great for their livestock. They did what Adonai ordered. When Israel would go into a land, destroy all evil places and humans, it states they carried out Adonai's word. It states they carried out Adonai's words. No notables from Gad either. Sweetie's going to read 22.
Of Dan he said, Dan is a lion cub leaping forth from Bashan.
Like a lion cub, Dan will take charge, trying to keep Israel on the straight path. By keeping strong for Adonai. We found one man from the tribe of Dan who seemed to be kind of a strong guy, and it wasn't always on the right path, but he was the strong guy. His name was Samson. And you might call him one of the notables.
Yeah.
Read 23, please.
Of Naphtali he said, You Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full of blessing from Adonai, take possession of the sea and of the south.
Naphtali, you are full of his blessings. Some say that Naphtali notable was Elijah.
Oh,
what a blessing. We are still hunting on that one. We haven't found out how they found out that yet, but sooner or later we hope that'll come up. Read 24 and 25 of chapter 33 in Deuteronomy, please.
Of Asher he said, May Asher be most blessed of sons. May he be the favorite among his brothers and bathe his feet in oil. May your bolts be of iron and bronze, and your strength last as long as you live.
Asher says will be one of the blessed ones. Read Genesis or Breshit 49:20.
I'll get there. 49:20 says, Asher's food is rich. He will provide food fit for a king.
He will have food fit for a king. In Job, he talks about when he was younger and rich. Go to Job 29:6 to illustrate just how rich of a living he had.
My steps were awash in butter, and the rocks poured out for me streams of olive oil.
To Asher, may your strength be with you all your life, is what the first time she read. That's what it said, right?
Mm-hmm.
May your strength be with you all your life. With all your puffing up of Asher, with all that puffing up of Asher, we found not one notable descendant. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm just saying we didn't find any. Not one notable descendant. Remember that word, Yeshurun? The upright one? My sweetie's going to read 33, verses 26 and 27. In 33.
Yeshurun, there is no one like God, riding through the heavens to help you, riding on the clouds in his majesty. The God of old is a dwelling place, with everlasting arms beneath. He expelled the enemy before you, and he said, destroy.
The upright one tells the Hebrews what to do from his dwelling place. What you read, right? Mm-hmm. With his arm helping against their enemies. Mm-hmm. And what does that upright one say? He says, destroy. My sweetie's going to read Deuteronomy 33, verse 28.
So Israel lives in security. The fountain of Jacob is alone in the land of grain and new wine, where the skies drip with dew. Read that right.
Israel lives in safety. Mm-hmm. The family of Yaakov, or Jacob, will have prosperity in the field and the vineyard watered by his dew. That's quite a statement for Jacob's family. Israel, here is what you are to do. My sweetie's going to read 29.
Happy are you, Israel, who is like a people saved. Who is like you, a people saved by Adonai, your defender helping you, and your sword of triumph. Your enemies will cringe before you, but you will trample down their high places.
Now, isn't that really saying? Be happy, Israel. Adonai has saved you, helped you, and gave you victory from the sword. You are to smash the sacred places. So much so, your enemy will hate to see you even coming. If they, and you, would only keep Adonai's truth. Now, that's a good statement. If they, and you, would only keep Adonai's truth, look what was theirs and yours if you obey Adonai's truth. Interesting.